David had always prided himself on being a provider for his family. He had a loving wife, Abby, and two beautiful daughters, Blake and Riley. But when he was laid off from his job, it felt like his whole world was falling apart. At first, David was optimistic. He knew he had a great skill set and was confident that he could find a new job quickly. But as the weeks turned into months, and his savings dwindled, he began to feel the weight of his responsibilities as a father and husband. Abby tried to be supportive, but even she was feeling the stress of the situation. The bills were piling up, and their savings account was nearly empty. They had to make some tough decisions, like canceling their family vacation and cutting back on extracurricular activities for their kids. Despite all of this, David refused to give up. He spent hours each day sending out resumes, networking, and researching job opportunities. He paid close attention to economic indicators and the job market in his field, hoping to find any clues that would give him an edge in the job hunt. Days turned into weeks, and the stress only seemed to grow. David and Abby had many sleepless nights, worrying about how they would pay their bills and take care of their children. It was hard for them to keep up a brave face in front of their children, but they didn't want their worries to affect their daughter's happiness. One day, Abby got a call from her sister, who lived out of state. She had been in a minor car accident and needed someone to come to help her with the kids. Abby felt torn between wanting to help her sister and not wanting to leave her family during this difficult time. David could sense his wife's inner turmoil and told her that he would support whatever decision she made. Abby decided to go help her sister, leaving David to take care of their daughters. It was hard for her to leave her family behind, but she knew that her sister needed her. David had to juggle everything on his own while Abby was away. He had to take care of the house, the bills, and his two daughters, all while trying to find a job. There were moments when he felt like he was drowning in responsibilities, but he refused to let his family down. One day, while he was dropping his daughter Riley off at school, he ran into an old friend from college, who happened to work at a nearby company that was hiring. They talked for a while, and David's friend offered to put in a good word for him. David felt grateful and relieved, but he knew that getting a job wasn't that easy. He still had to apply and interview like everyone else. He spent the next few days polishing his resume and preparing for the interview. He read up on the company and its mission, hoping to impress the hiring manager with his knowledge. Finally, the day of the interview arrived, and David put on his best suit and went in feeling nervous but hopeful. The interview went well, and David felt like he had made a good impression. He left feeling cautiously optimistic, but knew that he still had to wait to hear back from the company. Days turned into weeks, and he was still waiting for a call. One day, as he was driving his daughters to their dance class, he got a call from the hiring manager. They offered him the job, and David felt like he had just won the lottery. He accepted the offer, and a weight was lifted off his shoulders. He couldn't wait to tell Abby and his daughters the good news. When he picked them up from dance class, he could barely contain his excitement. As soon as they got home, he gathered them in the living room and announced that he had finally found a job. Abby and the girls cheered and hugged him tightly, relieved and grateful that the family's financial struggles were finally coming to an end. David felt a sense of pride wash over him as he looked at his family, knowing that he had been able to provide for them once again. Over the next few weeks, David settled into his new job and started to rebuild their savings. Abby was able to return home, and they celebrated her safe return with a family trip to the beach. The girls were thrilled to be able to go on vacation, and David and Abby felt like they were finally able to breathe easy again. But even though things were starting to look up, David never forgot the lessons he had learned during those tough times. He realized that sometimes, life can be unpredictable, and unexpected setbacks can happen to anyone. He knew that he needed to be more prepared for the future, so he started to focus on building a more stable financial foundation for his family. He started to research different investment options, consulted with financial advisors, and created a budget that allowed them to save money each month. He also made a promise to himself to always stay vigilant about his job prospects and to never let his guard down when it came to his career. David and Abby also decided to teach their daughters about the importance of financial responsibility and hard work. They started giving them small allowances and encouraged them to save their money for things they really wanted. They also talked to them about the value of education and how hard work and dedication could help them achieve their goals. Years later, as Blake and Riley were preparing to go off to college, David and Abby looked back on those tough times with a sense of gratitude. They knew that the struggles they had faced had brought them closer together as a family and had taught them valuable lessons that they would carry with them for the rest of their lives. They were proud of the way their daughters had grown into responsible, hard-working young women, and they knew that they had set them up for success in the future. David smiled, knowing that even though life could be unpredictable, he had done everything in his power to make sure that his family was ready for whatever the future might hold.